Hi, it's the Rawesome Vegan Gal here, and today we are going to talk about an important food that we ought to be consuming if we're not already consuming it. And I have this jar, which is empty right now, because what you put in here is something that you will grow, that you will consume. And what are they? Sprouts. And this is a mason jar. This is a great way to make sprouts. If you don't want to make them yourself, then of course you can buy them. They're not as fresh, of course, and they don't last as long. Although sprouts don't last as long anyway, they should be eaten, within a few days probably of making them. So the reason why you want to have a mason jar is because the size is really good, the quart size. And then the cover, what you would do is, it has two pieces to the cover, and you would remove this piece and then just use this one and put either some kind of a cheesecloth on top, because when you make sprouts, you need to rinse them on a regular basis as they're growing. The other thing you could do is buy a mason jar, and then they make special covers. They call them, I think, sprouting jar covers, so you could look that up online where to get those. And then you could use that, and it's just one piece where it's like a plastic cover and a mesh, like a strainer mesh inside. So that would be a great way to do it. Some other people use like a sprouting bag. That's another option. So you can actually look online for different things and different ways you can actually make them. So we're going to talk about a whole bunch of things regarding sprouts. First of all, why do we need them? Why are they important? So, a reason is because our bodies build up toxins, and what happens is that we need to eliminate those from the body, and they also are all around the environment, in the air, in the water, in the food. So the consequences is that all this goes into our body, and therefore we need to do something to combat that. And one of the ways to combat that is sprouts. And why sprouts? Well, how do they help? Because they are high in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. That's what we need to protect our body. And they're nourishing, strengthening, and stimulate the immune system. Some antioxidants are vitamins, some are minerals, and also trace elements, and others are enzymes and plant pigments. So these protect us from the toxic chemical buildup. So there's important ones. What are the most important ones? That are abundant in various sprouting seeds, beans, and grains. So the most important protectors are vitamin C, vitamin E, chlorophyll, calcium, iron, magnesium, potassium, selenium, zinc, provitamin A, which are your carotenes, vitamin B complex, and antioxidant enzymes. And just to remind you that I did a video back on the colors of the rainbow, I called it, or rainbow colors of food. So that on there talked about different nutrients and where you can get those too. So you might want to refer back to that video. So sprouts are, healthy and nutritious for us, and they're also easy to store, low in calories, tasty, simple, easy, and fast to grow. And you can add to your salads. You can throw them in your smoothies, or if you want something a little different, kind of savory. So we're going to talk about the different types of sprouts and what the nutrient benefits are of them. So alfalfa sprouts are high in protein, essential amino acids, and 8 digestive enzymes. They're rich in vitamin A, vitamin C, B complex, including B12, vitamin D, vitamin E, and 4 main minerals, including iron, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, and potassium. So chock full of nutrients in those little alfalfa sprouts. And most of us have grown up with alfalfa sprouts. I know when I was a kid, we always ate alfalfa sprouts. Another one is barley grass. Just like wheatgrass is rich in B vitamins, particularly thiamine, riboflavin, protein, and many other minerals. Barley juice is masticated from its grass-like state with a special slow juicer. So barley grass is not really a sprout that you make. It's a grass. So that one has to be gone through a juicer to get the juice out of it. The next one are broccoli sprouts. Now we're going to talk a little more about them. Well, we can talk about it right now, because broccoli sprouts are really have very special nutrient properties. It says 3 to 4 day broccoli sprouts contain vitamin A, B, C, potassium, and especially the phytochemicals sulforaphane, indole, and isothiocyanate. They actually help enable the body to reduce tumors in the breast, stomach, and lung cancers, according to Johns Hopkins research. So talking a little bit more about broccoli sprouts. Sulforaphane is a compound that prevents cancer by assisting the body to create an enzyme that prevents tumors from forming. The test shows sulforaphane from broccoli sprouts reduces cancer by 60 to 80%. Further studies show that it aids in shrinking tumors already present. And perhaps the most amazing fact about it is that sulforaphane from sprouted broccoli does not concentrate on certain organs or particular cancers. I don't know what that means. Maybe I didn't say that right. That does not concentrate. Because it fights cancer on a cellular level, it helps all organs against all forms of cancer. And sulforaphane is found in large quantities in broccoli and increased levels of 30 to 50 times the potency in broccoli sprouts. So broccoli sprouts are more potent than broccoli for the sulforaphane. So let's see if there's anything else about it. So that's about broccoli sprouts. So anytime you can get those in your body, get them. If you want to make them yourself, you want to buy a package of broccoli sprouts and eat a lot of them. Buckwheat sprouts. A lot of people don't know that you can sprout buckwheat. Buckwheat sprouts are rich in protein, iron, calcium, phosphorus, B complex, vitamin E, and large amounts of rutin and bioflavonoids. The bioflavonoids work with vitamin C to help detox the body and build the immune system. Buckwheat sprouts are grown with the soil method. So buckwheat sprouts is not something you do in a jar. So that one we won't. That's a little more complicated, and we're not going to talk about growing on soil. Cabbage sprouts is another one that you might not have heard of. They provide vitamin A and C, minerals, and when exposed to light develop chlorophyll. So that's something that they say you can add to coleslaw because it has that cabbage flavor. Fenugreek sprouts. That's another interesting one that you might not have tried. They contain choline, which is a fat controller, and rich in protein, iron, and A and D, and G. Fenugreek is a strongly scented herb of the pea family, and reported to be helpful with digestive disorders and ulcers. Garbanzo sprouts, which are chickpeas, are rich in carbohydrates, fiber, calcium, and protein, as well as magnesium, potassium, and vitamin A and C. Mix in a blender after sprouting for hummus, so you can make your own sprouting. Now, with beans, you have to be really careful when you're sprouting and to make sure, the rinsing process, because if it's warmer weather, depends on where you live, if you're dealing with colder weather, your climate, you have to really be on top of taking care of your sprouts. Now, normally what you do is, you soak overnight first. You have your seeds, if they're very tiny seeds, but you soak them overnight. You rinse it out, make sure you're using the mesh or the cheesecloth, and then you strain them out. And then you want to put them on an angle. You put the jar this way, leaning down. So if you have a drain board or something where you can lean them into, or some kind of a tray even, a deep Pyrex dish that they could sit properly and drain. So the best thing to do is before you go to sleep, rinse them. When you wake up in the morning, rinse them. So you rinse them out and then let them drain. Now, if you're in a hotter environment and they might spoil quickly, then you want to rinse them maybe 3 times a day, maybe once again in the middle of the day. And then you'll start to see them. And what's amazing is the magic of nature and of these seeds that all of a sudden they start opening up and start growing. That's just a miracle, right? A miracle that happens. So yeah, that's why how to grow them. The 4 factors that they talk about. So the right amount of moisture, the correct temperature, and the free circulation of air and minimal light. Rinsing them a couple of times a day, like we said, keep them moist. You also wash away carbon dioxide and other metabolic wastes that could cause souring or spoiling. Using cool water when rinsing ventilates and cools the sprouts to prevent overheating. So, of course, you do not use hot water. Proper draining prevents excessive moisture that can cause mold and rot. The ideal sprouting temperature depends on the seed, but generally between 70 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. So you want to maybe check in your house how hot it is and where you want to put your sprouts. To protect them, keep sprouts containers away from cold drafts, direct heat, or any light. For free air circulation, at least 1/3 of the container must be empty. So you want to make sure it has room to grow and room to breathe. Sprouts expand 6 to 10 times over a few days, so give them plenty of room to grow. They're very light sensitive and need to be covered during the early stages of the growing cycle. So what you would do is take a towel or a cloth and cover them over. Or put them, if you're going to have them in your kitchen, put them on a counter where it doesn't get as much light, like sunlight, like direct light, because like I said, they're very fragile. Okay. And I think you can get actually sprouting kits too online if you want to check that out as well. And ways you can use your sprouts. That's going to be our last part of this video for today. How do you use them? They can be used in all vegetable dishes without the problem of improper food combining. The easy and tastiest way is in a sprout salad or sandwich inside lettuce. So you can make wraps, or even with nori, you can put a whole bunch of sprouts. If you have your chickpeas and you make them into hummus, you can put that in and roll them up and eat them. It's a great nutrient-rich, enzymatic-rich, yummy wrap. And so how else can you use them? You can add them to salads using coleslaw, add them to potato salads, stir fry with other vegetables, blend into fruit shakes or juices, blend with vegetable juices, grind up and use in a sandwich as a spread, like you're using like your bean sprouts more, stir into soups or stew them. I would add them, if you're adding to a soup that's a hot soup, what would be nice is to use it as a garnish and then just put them in at the end instead of them cooking and kind of getting out their life force. Just sprinkle them on the end when you serve it and you get this nice little crunch. Or if you make like a raw blended soup, you can add that in and it also looks pretty, you know, like having them on top. Especially the things like sunflower sprouts, those are really pretty. Those also need to grow in soil. So certain sprouts I wouldn't actually make because they're more complicated. Those you might want to buy and find somebody who does it the right way so that the sprouts are really good and fresh and last a long time. So I hope you enjoyed this video about sprouts, their benefits, and how to make them. And hope you go out and get yourself some jars and make your own sprouts or buy them and eat them on a regular basis because they are great for you. So I thank you for watching. It's the Rawesome Vegan Gal.